I'm thinking that this will likely be our last Ace Attorney stream for a while. I think. All right. If Damon Gant doesn't get the best of us. All right. So. Let's get into this. Amanda is not joining us, so I will turn the music on. Turn that down just a little bit for you guys. Turn it down for me. Yes! Let's nail the bastard. All right. Are you ready, weird vampire? I'm ready to get this guy. I know this is going to be tricky. I know it's going to be hard, but we can do this. We got this, team. Go, team. High five. Yeah. Okay. February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. High five. Yes. Awesome. We got this.
Now then. Will the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye, please take the stand?
All right, Lana. You've been lying this whole time. We got you.
Ms. Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
You still gotta swear her in.
But Mr. Edgeworth,
you already know everything.
You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Okay, but we gotta put it on the record, you idiot.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Ms. Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course. The truth. She's not gonna give it. Of course she's not. This is an Ace Attorney game.
Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister.
So cold. So cold.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant.
Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Yeah. I don't know if she slept through law school or she thinks that she's too smart for it. Or because she, like, I don't know. I feel like when you get to sometimes people, I've heard it being educated beyond your intelligence. Maybe not in this case. Like, she's clearly very intelligent, but I think because she's been so educated and she's been in this position, she thinks that she can outsmart the system. It's like arrogance rather than intelligence, I think. Like, she thinks that she's smart enough to get away with it.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure.
But Lana!
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
Yeah. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning.
Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth? She's not, Phoenix. Oh! There, Emma read your mind already.
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Wow. Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
All right. All right, let's do this. Press. How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia. That doesn't make you a good detective. Being a good lawyer doesn't make you a good detective. And coming from a certain school doesn't make you a good lawyer either, just so you know. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. But think about it, Ms. Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Okay, that's true, but it's like we've been bringing in stuff from the outside this entire game, so that's kind of not nice of the developers to put this in and make all these and put in all these intricacies at this point. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And okay. Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. So then why'd you have to fabricate? She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him.
Lana!
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
That doesn't explain anything. Okay, she rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself?
Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken... Sorry. Terrible people, or terrible drivers, rather, live in my neighborhood. It's always a bunch of honking outside. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon?
Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. And Emma keeps reading her Phoenix's mind.
So when you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. Broke off the tip of Dark's knife. Planted it inside the window. Moved. How did you break the tip off the knife? That's so far-fetched. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the... What?
But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others. Why did you plant the knife? Well, the knife... Oh, sorry, no worries. You didn't really miss much. She's saying that she when she found the crime scene, she found the broken tip of the halberd from the award was in Marshall's body. And now she just said that she broke off the tip of Joe Dark's knife and put it in Neil Marshall's body and then moved his body. So now I'm wondering, I think it's okay to assume she planted the knife to connect it to Dark, like to connect his knife to the killing of Marshall. But moving the body is another question that I'm concerned about. So I think I'm going to ask, why did you move the body? When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. My only motivation was to... Okay. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Why? Pieces of the jar? You mean?
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier.
The wretched jar? Ooh.
In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces.
If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened.
Neil Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. Yeah, that's true. Modern art. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. Sure.
I see.
But if it was broken during their struggle, Joe Dark could have still stabbed Marshall. What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened.
In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions.
Mr. Wright, my sister's lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Okay, I think the pot... Let me check the court record. Yeah, with Emma written in blood on the surface, that has to be the contradiction for earlier, right? No truth. Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. See, so the jar couldn't have shattered during the events because Emma was already written on the jar. So I think it's the pot. Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were being exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring this to everyone's attention. A significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction? In my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right. Do you have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died.
Ah,
He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
Okay. The jar and the message in blood.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
That doesn't make sense, though. Because the pieces in the safe and in the locker both still had blood on them, so she didn't... I don't know.
Sorry.
Excuse me, there's something in my throat's bothering me, so I'm gonna go kind of easy on the voices. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Yeah, I'm good with water for right now. Well, yeah, actually, that's probably a good call. I'm gonna get some tea and put some honey in it. One moment. Thank you for being so considerate. Okay, I'm back. Tea's in the microwave. I know that's sacrilege in other countries, but I put my tea in the microwave, and that's how I heat up the water. Amanda, when she first moved to the UK, she told people that's how she made tea. She was like, I've never had a kettle. I don't know how to do this. And they were like, well, what do you usually do? And she was like, I just put it in the microwave. Okay. Yeah! I have some friends who are like total tea snobs and are like, no, the water has to be boiled at a certain temperature. You know, it has to be... Yeah, we've always made tea in the microwave. Yes, it's called Chef Mike. The greatest chef in the world, Chef Mike. I don't use the microwave for everything. I mostly use the oven, especially if I want to reheat stuff. Because microwaves make things really soft, I have found. Alright, that's probably enough. Ugh. Oops. But yeah, all my mugs are this like stone pottery stuff, so the downside is that It makes the handle really hot whenever I put my mugs in the microwave. Whew. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay. Back to the game. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. Oh, wait. Processing. Okay. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defenses.
Fuck you! But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. There you go, Phoenix.
You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. What do you mean time? So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? She didn't have time to check it out, so she knew someone else was coming? I wonder how she knew that she had to come into this office. How dare you? My microwave is so convenient. It's convenient. Okay, but think about this. Lana was not in the room when Dark was being interrogated. It was only Neil, Marshall, and Gant, allegedly. Gant went downstairs, Marshall went upstairs. Marshall somehow found Dark in the office. Lana was somewhere else completely. So how did Lana know to come to the office, and how did she get there before Gant? I know that I could get a kettle, but look, I have 0 counter space. I have no counter space. I live in a tiny apartment. It's not as tiny as the one I used to live in, but still. I chop, I cook, I make things. I don't want to take counter space with a kettle. So how did Lana know that someone else was coming to make her feel this sense of urgency? So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No, if I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case.
Lana, you'd do that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
Oh! What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation?
Lana!
I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me.
Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go.
I never miss anything. I got every last piece.
All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions.
I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. Okay. She immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, which is explained by her flashlight. But it was dark in the room and she didn't have time to check it out. She wiped away the blood. I feel like this is where the contradiction is. Because the final fragment was in Chief Gant's safe. Right? Okay. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. Ooh.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? Okay, my handle has calmed down, has cooled down.
I'm afraid that's unlikely.
The plot thickens.
The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
Ooh, hey, slow down! The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that?
No.
Put the judge on the spot, finally.
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called?
Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason.
The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. Ooh, she bit her finger so hard it bled! Ooh! It just should be on trial afterwards, though. Oh, 100%. He should be, removed from the bench. No, I did it on my own.
Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake.
No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies?
Imagine that. Yeah, and somebody who admittedly forged evidence, so it's not like you're super credible either. I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist the truth. There you go. Wait, no, is he talking to Phoenix? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Put your finger even hard.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright. Lana. Maybe right after all.
What do you mean, right?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky, please testify once more.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will.
I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination might not change a thing.
I know. Lana Sky is detective failing on the witness stand.
However, there is a possibility that it will. If you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Okay. All right, the witness may testify once more, for the final time. Where's the honey? All right. Come on, honey. I'm not feeling you against my throat. Sorry. Put some honey in my tea. I'm not tasting it quite yet. I know. Are we finally going to hear the truth? Really, Lana? When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime. She didn't give us anything. It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't... Is it in the book? But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. Please present this picture. Seeing... Is it in the book? She gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. Okay, wait, go back. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Okay. Where? Okay.
Alright. Wait! There it is! Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene.
No other detectives saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything. Add it to the court record.
Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be? The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth. It had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. As long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flesh out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
But Lana came upon the scene when the handprint was already cut off.
She didn't take that. Cut that out then. She already cut out the piece of cloth. Or the piece of cloth had already been cut out.
Wait.
Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Chief Gant.
What? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Hey! Hey, hey, hey! You said you don't want to testify anymore, so you can't. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What?
You already declined to testify.
That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck.
That's right, asshole. Yeah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you. But I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
Evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean what? So you concealed evidence?
You still have some conclusive evidence?
No, I don't. But someone does.
Someone.
So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Wait a minute. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. We can't show it. We can't show it. It's not approved by the police department. I show that piece of evidence now. I'm assured to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? No! The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? Cannot show evidence! Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie.
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are in it. That's why you will present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area?
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Impressive. Yeah, so you just admitted you concealed evidence. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. You already forfeited your right to speak.
What? You mean you would admit to it?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. Wait, so he's admitting to it? So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid.
So you assisted Miss Sky.
So he's admitted to lying earlier. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife dip in the victim's body and move the body across the room.
And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted.
When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
It's like Gandalf, keep your forked tongue behind your teeth.
Gandalf. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence?
What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of him, his name.
I guess maybe in Japanese that was the most legible part.
I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, let's just say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too.
Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept 1 more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Rado. Cover it up already. I know you haven't.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant. That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.